Hi everyone and welcome back. So in this video we are going to take a look on intermediate certification of Node.js on hackerRank. So this is a problem which we need to solve by writing an APIs or writing a utility. Let's see this problem statement. Okay, product API medium, we have JSON object, product specification is there is already a model. The task is to implement a REST interface. Okay, get put post delete patch post request to the product, which will create a new product, expect a JSON object without the ID and is published property. Okay, so ID we are generating is published is not there. You can assume that given object is always valid. We don't need a payload validation. A new project should always be created with is published false and with ID which you are going to calculate. I think I have already done this one problem already, which is talking about, I think, sequelize in memory interface. And there we did a get, post, patch, and I think delete. Delete is nothing but delete and put is returning 405 directly. We don't need to implement them. Okay, so post is all about create, get is all about return a collection of all the products, status code 200, create status code 201, and patch. Okay, patch is a little bit interesting. You can assume that body is sent in the patch request with this payload. Okay, there are some criterias in which you need to send 422 request unprocessable entity. So there are two criterias: if MRP property in the matching product is greater than or equal to the selling price, or if the quantity is zero. Okay, so that's interesting. So we are going to create some products by hitting a post request with this payload. So what we will do, we already have the routes and controller setup. Here is our routes. What we will do is we can simply add our default route. Okay, so this is my router dot post router.post, and my API endpoint is products, and here we have controllers. Inside controller we are going to define method. Okay, let's say create product, or you can call simply create, because we already know it's from product model, so you don't need to put the whole name create for a product. Create is also fine. Okay, and there are some other endpoints, like, because all are on the same, so we can just do get, which will just do get all products. So similarly we can define, one is I think patch, put and delete is returning nothing, get, post, put, delete, patch. So these we will define later. Let's say this is update product by ID. These all are we are passing path parameter. Same with put, same with patch. We can also have a get by ID, but I think that's not needed in the APIs I see. Here we can say get product by ID. Okay, now what we need to do, let's go to our controller. Here we can define a simple class, and there we need to define all the methods. We already have a product model, and you can already see this product model is providing us all the methods. I think product model dot, I mean, let's put it in method, then it will start popping up. Async create product. Let's see, this is our first method, which is talking about creating a product. Here we have a request response. I will try to do it quickly because we have already done this, and it's all about the REST API and the CRUD operation, which I don't like much. If there is an error, so we need to throw error. For now, let's throw a simple error object. Okay, in try we'll get a body from the request. And what we are doing here is, let's see what all operations we can do on the product model. Now we are inside a method. Yes, we see find all, save, insert, create, all that sequelize operations we can perform. Okay, here we are creating. So first of all, we need to get the existing length of the data which already exists in the database. Product model dot find all empty object, and here we can say body is the object, so we can say body dot id is data dot length. If item is empty, we will assign the id 1, and then body dot is published as it was there in the readme, we need to assign it as a false. And then here we can just to create this product model dot create. There is a method and you pass this body. This will create, and then response dot status will say 201 created, and then JSON object we can send the response. Simple. This is our API create product. Why it is showing unused? Okay, now what we are going to do is we have another method is get all product, which is talking about returning all the products. So that we can do is get all products request response. I think we already have this product model dot find by id, so we can use this existing logic, and we are returning the data. So obviously the data will be there, otherwise we will return empty array. Now the important part in this whole exercise is the patch request. Update request is like we need to return, for update and delete we are returning 405, right? So we can map update product by id to our product routes. For delete and update, for the patch we can create a method patch product by id. So these CRUD operations are kind of simple. Only the thing is you just need to follow whatever you are doing. I mean the proper status code, proper messages. Here we are passing something in the body. Now here this is little important because there are some validation criterias. First we will get the id from request dot params. Okay, we can also get the body from request object, and now we got the id, right? First we need to validate, okay, this id really exists in the database or not. So we will say const data equal to await product model dot find one should be there, which is taking where condition, where id is this. If we got this data, if consider, let's say if the data is null, then we are done here. Response dot status 404 dot send and return from here. Okay, now the actual game will start. Let's say if we have a data, so we'll extract out what all things. We have the price inside a payload, we have MRP, and we have stock. If you see the readme, you can see all these things. We have all these properties there, price, MRP, and stock, because these things we need to define the criteria. And here there are multiple criterias. I mean, if you read the readme properly, you can understand it very easily. First we will check both the criterias. Okay, if MRP is less than price, and if both the conditions are true, because there are two criterias, and third condition is combined with both the criteria. If this is the true, else if. Now we can say if only MRP is less than price, then do this. Else if there is a condition, okay, stock is 0. Otherwise, if all these are not the case, then what we need to do is we just need to update and return the status code. 204 await product model dot update, because we need to publish this. So we are saying, okay, I will mark is published true, where this is the ID, right? So I can say it is published is true if nothing matches, and here we will just say, okay, response dot status 402, and the message based on defined criteria in readme file. Okay, and then finally module.exports, we will just return the instance of the product controller. So inside our router we can just directly call this. What just happened? Product controller. So this is the only thing important. I mean, we don't need even body because we are directly saying is published true. Here there are some respective messages which you can add, and we can run all the test cases. And now if we just run all the test cases, this is a problem statement which I just generally did in 15 minutes, but the other problems like which we have done already for the basics, those were taking more time. npm run test, and we have these controllers which needs to be added in the routes. Okay, so I think we deleted this somehow. Okay, anything else we are using here? No. Product model, npm run test. This is the class, we are exporting it and we are using it in the router controller, and we are calling all these methods. Okay, that's about intermediate certification. If all the test cases are passing, everything is good, then we are win-win. Then rest all these videos will talk about the Angular certifications, React certification. Those are also the basic questions, but the only thing is you just need to focus on the logic and the readme file and write the basic simple logic, because these questions are not the complex ones, and all are passing. That's good, because we put the respective messages, respective status code, all the conditions, so everything will pass. Okay, thanks everyone.